It's a beautiful day today and a beautiful day to read some more terrifying but also fun Reddit stories, and I hope you're having a good day today. If you enjoyed today's episode, as always, make sure you subscribe if you want to, and let's get straight into it. Enjoy, guys. Am I the a-hole? I told him that I'd never again bake him something. My husband is lactose intolerant, but he likes banana cake. For his birthday, I baked a 2-layer banana cake and I made the recipe of a vegan frosting and a vegan toffee sauce that was really good. When we were going to sing the usual happy birthday song, he stood up and was walking over the cake table while I was saying that I'd baked a banana cake for him with vegan frosting and sauce. His answer in front of everybody was that he didn't know why I'd baked him some cake if I already knew that he didn't like them, because he hasn't eaten them in so many years that he doesn't even like it anymore. Wow, okay. I felt hurt and I didn't say a thing. I thought that he'd appreciate me baking a cake for his birthday because that's what his mum used to do when he was a kid, and he always makes a comment about me not baking the kids' cakes. Every time I go to the local bakery, I get him a banana cake and he eats it and says how much he likes it. The rest of the celebration, I was trying to act normal, but he noticed, and when everybody left, he asked if I was okay. I said that I was never going to bake him something. His answer was thank you, and that I was being unfair with him because I should have already known. Worst of all is that my birthday is the same day as his, so I baked another cake for me because I wanted a chocolate cake, but this is only venting. Am I the a-hole, Reddit? Edit, there are too many messages and I can't reply to all of them. I agree with 99% of them, and it's also good to know a different perspective. Thank you all. Wait, so you were meant to know that he hadn't eaten them in years and doesn't even like them anymore, even though you said every time you go to the local bakery you get him a banana cake, and he eats it and says how much he likes it? So he's lying? And in front of everybody too? He should be grateful that you even made him something. Even if he didn't like it, he should still be grateful that you made it. That's so annoying. Yeah, the top comment, not the a-hole. So he eats banana cake from the bakery all the time, but he also hasn't had one in years. Yikes, what a gaslighter. Luckily, he only made himself look bad. Next time you go to the bakery, only buy yourself a treat. You don't know what he likes after all. Yeah, and like the comment below that one says, he shows that he has no respect for his wife. Even if she'd baked the wrong cake by mistake, which she didn't, that kind of confrontation or remarks are for private. Degrading your wife in front of everybody is never justified. Yeah, and also like the one below that says, he should just be grateful that she cared enough to do it for him. What a asshat. Yeah, what an asshat. A giant asshat. Calling somebody an asshat is such a funny insult. It's so innocent. You poopy head. No, but really though, he's so ungrateful. Of course you're not the a-hole, OP. And also, wait a second, how would you even be the a-hole? What, because you made him a cake that you should have known that he didn't like? Hey bro, you eat the same thing from the bakery all the time. What are you talking about? And yeah, regardless of what the bloody cake is, he should have been like, oh, that's so awesome. Thank you for making me a cake. You didn't have to do that. I really appreciate that. Yeah, like that comment said, shows that he has no respect. Also, this comment too. Why on earth would your husband tell a lie in public on both of your birthdays in order to humiliate you and make you look bad in front of everybody after you'd put all that special effort for him? What your husband did was extremely hostile, aggressively so. And then his gaslighting thing, at last Reddit, actual gaslighting, where he tells you that you should already know when you do know. You know that he eats banana cake all the damn time. So what? I'm not suggesting that this is the hill that your marriage should die on, but lying to humiliate your wife in public on her birthday is a very, very bad look. I think that if I were you, I'd insist on marital counseling yesterday, and if he refuses, I'd probably take a nice little break until he agreed. It's not okay for him to do this to you, and also you don't have to tolerate it. Not the a-hole. Yeah, definitely. Let me know in the comments what you think, guys. Post number 2 is called, Am I the a-hole for changing my mind about forgiving my wife for cheating after she signed a post-nup in my favor? My wife Ella, 32, and I, 35, have been together for 7 years and married for 5. 2 years ago, she admitted to cheating on me with a co-worker. Oh god. I'd always believed that cheating was a red line for me, and I was initially determined to divorce her. However, she did the work to regain my trust, or so I believed at the time. I also factored in the following, which allowed me to eventually move past it and forgive her. Number 1, she confessed to me voluntarily. She wasn't found out and forced to tell me. Number 2, it was a one-time at a housewarming party with the co-worker. I remember that night, she didn't return home until 4 a.m, and I sent her several texts checking in to see if she was okay, and if she needed me to pick her up. She normally doesn't like to drink, but occasionally succumbs to peer pressure, so I was worried that she might have been too drunk to drive. Number 3, she quit her job after confessing to me. This was her own choice to prove that she was prepared to hold herself to better boundaries. I actually discouraged her at the time because I was set on divorcing her, and I was concerned that her lack of a job would mean that I'd need to pay higher alimony if she was unemployed. Number 4, when I was 19, I also cheated on my then girlfriend. Not what Ella via a drunken kiss. Obviously it wasn't as bad as what Ella did, which was full-on intercourse, but part of me felt like a hypocrite for not being able to forgive Ella because my college girlfriend had forgiven me. Given the above and the fact that Ella genuinely seemed remorseful, everything else in our relationship was great, and she was the most compatible person that I've ever dated, personality-wise. I decided to forgive Ella and not divorce her on the condition that she signed a post-nup. She enthusiastically agreed. The post-nup isn't overly harsh, in my opinion. Aside from affirming that our premarital assets won't go into the settlement in the event of a divorce, it also included an infidelity clause with the penalty of the cheater forfeiting our jointly owned home, also the car and alimony in the event of a divorce. The balance would also be split 60-40 in favour of the cheated spouse rather than 50-50. We both had independent legal advice when this was drafted and signed. Fast forward to last month when I was contacted on Facebook by Alice, the wife of the wife's affair partner. She tracked me down by going through Ella's social media. She told me that she caught her husband Bill cheating on her and discovered their affair from 2 years ago after going through his electronic devices. She asked if I knew, to which I replied that I did, but I thanked her for telling me anyway. She asked me what had happened between Ella and me, and I told her that we had reconciled. She said that she was determined to divorce Bill because, unlike my wife, Bill had proven to be a serial cheater and never confessed to her. The part that since changed my mind about forgiving Ella is the fact that she revealed that Bill and Ella had actually been having an affair for 5 months. I clarified if she meant an emotional affair, but she clarified that it was a physical affair and that they'd hooked up over 10 times. In my mind, this makes the affair so much worse. It wasn't just a drunken night. It was a long period of planned and deliberate choices, and I feel like an absolute fool. Yeah, get out of there, OP. This past weekend, I confronted Ella and she admitted it. I asked why she didn't tell me the full truth, and she said that she didn't believe that I would have forgiven her if I'd known. She's been trying to convince me that it's in the past. We've made 2 years of progress since then, and it doesn't matter whether it was once or 10 times. She argues that her confession showed true remorse. My current thought is that the omission shows that even in her confession, her main concern was still protecting herself rather than respecting me as a spouse by giving me the agency to make a fully informed choice. Not that different from never telling me in the first place. I'm now strongly considering divorce again, and I'm relying on the prenup for a more favourable divorce settlement. Am I the a-hole? No, you're not the a-hole, OP. Get the hell out of there. And I want to mention that bit where you said how you cheated on your partner with a drunken kiss when you were 19, and that person forgave you, so you feel like you should forgive your partner now? Definitely not, OP. Like, think about it this way. Would that person when you were 19 have been the a-hole if they dumped you? No. Like, if they felt like they couldn't forgive you and they had to break up, that would not make them the a-hole. You were the one who was kissing somebody else, just like you would not be the a-hole now for not forgiving your partner. And please don't forgive them, OP. Get out of there. The top comment says, not the a-hole. It's like she cheated all over again, only 10 times as much. Her core lack of integrity and selfishness is reflected in her fake confession that you figured out on your own. She's defective and has been playing you for 2.5 years. That must hurt deeply. As much at yourself for trusting this person. Well, you can fix this for your future by following through using the system that you set up. For this very reason, I would not take a lot of time to hear her out. I mean, why? It's not like you're respected or loved. She confessed initially because somebody saw them too close at the party and she wanted to preempt you being told. You were voluntarily told the minimum. Trickle Truth 101. Press the speed dial with your attorney and get things rolling. Also, see an individual psychotherapist for your head and your heart. This isn't on you, nor a reflection of any kind of weakness. You were trying to do the right thing with somebody that you thought you loved. It's near criminal how some people will take advantage of one's generosity. Dump her. This comment says, not the a-hole, and I can't imagine how you think you might be. She cheated and she broke your trust. That's frankly enough to leave at any time you want to. Not only did she cheat, but she lied about the extent of the cheating and is trying to downplay it because she made progress based on a lie. It very clearly matters whether it was a one-time thing or an ongoing affair. You are worth so much more than this BS. This comment says, you're not the a-hole for reconsidering your decision to stay in the marriage. Ella's omission of crucial details during her initial confession reveals a lack of transparency and undermines the foundation of trust that you rebuild. Yeah, definitely get out of there, OP. The next one that we're going to read is on the Entitled People subreddit. Time for some entitlement. Entitled guy thinks that Store's electric scooters are only for him. Wow, that's already so annoying. I went to the grocery store and I parked in the handicapped space. Yeah, I have a valid plate. I've got COPD and partial paralysis. So I'm walking from my car to the store, and this guy who appears to be walking similarly to me, he grabs a grocery cart and walks into the store, stopping at employee photos on the wall, and then kisses one of the photos. I step around him and I settle down in the last motorized scooter available. He goes ballistic on me, telling me that the scooter was for him. I ask how am I supposed to know he wanted the scooter when he already had a cart. He goes to customer service and then complains about me. They shrug, address him by his first name in an annoyed tone, and say too bad, she got it first. He followed me through the store calling me names. When I checked out, the cashier told me that he does this quite often. Oh my god, and what, they haven't banned him? That's terrible. Oh my god, that's so infuriating. What an a-hole. And what, they let him do that? Yeah, the top comment, why haven't they banned him from the store? Yeah, that's right. And also, what do you mean he was kissing a photo? Can we please have a little bit more information about that? Yeah, this comment, why is he kissing an employee photo on the wall? That entire situation is so awful. I'm sorry that you had to deal with that, OP. And kinda scary too, getting followed around the store. Get the hell out of here, dude. I'm sad that the people who worked there didn't do more to help. That's so wild. Jin's sitting next to me on a chair and he's so cute. I just took a photo, so I'll put it on the screen. He's so beautiful and so fluffy. Okay, we're back on Am I the Gay Hole? Am I the gay hole for giving my gluten-free mother gluten without telling her? Oh, this post. I was watching Mark Narrations before this episode and I heard him read this post. This one was so wild. So my mother and I don't have a great relationship. During my life, she's pushed all kinds of fad diets and self-help flavored fads and even conversion therapy via the troubled teen industry onto me. She's never apologized for any of it despite me telling her how much it messed me up. I still haven't mustered the guts to go no contact because she's still married to my dad, who I do get along with and I do like. Well, I recently moved into a new place in a really nice area because I got a really nice new job. Suddenly my mum really wants to come and visit me. I do my best to make up excuses, but she pushes so hard that I eventually cave. One thing that I've been doing since moving into my new place is a lot of cooking because I've got a nice big kitchen all to myself. I love weird food and finding new ways to get protein in my diet without using meat. Something that I've had a lot of fun making lately is la chow. It's probably not weird to some people, but to my sheltered American self, it was funky as hell and I loved the idea of it. So I started making it from scratch and I discovered that I love it. Well, my mum and dad got here yesterday afternoon and they settle in and we start talking about dinner. As usual, mum has to pick after looking at online menus for a couple of hours to make sure that they fit with her dietary requirements. She ends up picking a vegan restaurant that's across town, but she's so tired from the drive up that she can't fathom getting back into the car. So dad and I agree to go pick it up while she's resting. Driving across my new city is a long process, which I told her ahead of time, and it's a little over an hour later when we get home with the vegan gluten-free food that she wanted. She's not vegan, but she is adamantly gluten-free and has been for a few years. We get inside and as I'm opening the food in the kitchen, I notice the Pyrex Snapware container of la chow that was in my fridge is now empty in my sink. She even dumped out the sauce that I'd been soaking them in. I asked her if she'd eaten something out of my fridge while we were gone, and she said that yeah, she'd eaten some chicken because she was getting lightheaded from hunger, but it was terrible and she was ready for some real food. Oh my god, she's so rude. Now this is where I might have been the a-hole. Instead of telling her what she'd actually eaten, I just rolled my eyes and dished up the food for everybody and we ate. Yeah, you're not the a-hole, OP. She continued to remark about how bad and oily the chicken was and how relieved that she was to finally eat something substantial during the rest of the evening. My dad kept trying to change the subject and she kept on coming back to it. I finally snapped when she brought it up again first thing this morning when I was picking them up from their hotel. I asked them where they wanted to go for breakfast and my mum made a joke about not wanting me to cook them breakfast because she didn't want more oily chicken or something to that effect. I finally said, Mum, that was homemade la chow and I don't understand why you ate all of it if you hated it so much. She asked me what that was and I explained that it's just vital wheat gluten and water, steamed and soaked in sauce. I practically watched her face drop and sure enough, within 30 minutes, her stomach was killing her and she was having difficulty breathing and needed to go to the emergency room. What a load of crap. The whole time that we were there, she went on and on to the nurses and the doctors about how I'd fed her gluten and not told her until it was too late for her to take her medicine and is crying now because the whole trip's ruined. Mind you, this is the hospital where I work. My dad pulled me aside to tell me that he was disappointed that I hadn't spoken up last night and how what I'd done not only hurt my mother's feelings, but also put her health and safety at risk. Well, she was okay last night. He asked me to go home and think about my actions and give my mother some space. And now I'm sitting here alone in my cool new place feeling like an a-hole and super anxious about what work's going to be like next week. I'm torn because I don't think it's my fault that she ate my food without talking to me first, but I'd be lying if I said that I didn't admit the information about what she'd eaten because I was pissed at her and I just didn't want to discuss it further. I also didn't expect it to make her so sick. So am I the a-hole? The mum in this story is infuriating. No, you're not the a-hole, OP. Your mum's an attention seeker. From the very beginning of this, your mum has definitely given me bad vibes, making you guys go and get her food, which is over an hour away, eating your food out of your fridge without asking, and then insulting you about it for ages, and she pretty conveniently didn't feel sick when she ate it, but then all of a sudden when she finds out the next day, she has to go to the emergency room? Surely not. This comment says your mum took food out of your fridge and ate it without checking first what it is. That's not on you, as for not telling your mum last night, and her physical reaction this morning. This is a mental issue, not a physical issue. She didn't get quote-unquote sick until she found out what she ate. She's totally fine. I bet she never eats anything from your fridge again. Not the a-hole. The top comment says, I bet bet it didn't make her sick. Getting sick right after she learnt what it was is suspicious AF. Yeah, the comment below that one. If she'd never told her, she never would have gotten sick. Just a fake AF whining. Yeah, it really does sound like it. And also, if you put all of that stuff aside, she still sounds like an a-hole. The way that she kept on making fun of OP for the oily chicken that wasn't even chicken, saying, oh, I don't want you to make us breakfast after that oily chicken. Like, also, OP probably wanted to eat that, and you just ate it without even asking, which is already an a-hole move. But then you make fun of OP because you don't like it. That's also an a-hole move. This comment says, not the a-hole. You didn't give it to her. She took it without even knowing what it was. Whether you told her at the time or when you did, the outcome would have still been the same, and you would have still been made out to be the bad guy in the situation. It was a lose-lose situation. Yeah, and this comment too. So her gluten intolerance kicked in the day after eating gluten. Oh yeah, that's unusual. OP does have an update, so I'll read that. Update. Am I the gay hoe for giving gluten to my gluten-free mother without telling her? I just got home, so after everything went down this morning, I went back to the hospital to check on my parents. My mum was asleep and still in the ED, and so I got to talk to my dad and the doctor a bit. My dad still thought that I should apologize. I told him that I would when she woke up. When I talked to the doctor a bit, I started asking about testing. I asked if they'd done a test for the specific kind of immunoglobulin that's present in celiac when somebody has gluten, and she said that she actually hadn't needed to because apparently my mum had that test done in the past with her PCP. The doctor asked me if I worked in the medical field, and I told her that yeah, I worked in the lab. She then volunteered a bit more information than she probably should have, but I'm glad that she did because I feel a bit better. She was able to get my mum's lab results faxed over and look them over. Apparently my mum's test for celiac disease was low enough that it was absolutely clear that my mother does not have celiac disease. The doctor had offered to refer her for a biopsy, which is standard procedure for confirmation of celiac, and my mother declined. I later confirmed talking to my dad that it was because she didn't think it was worth going through all the pain and the expensive surgery to confirm something that she already knows. Right, okay. And furthermore, according to the nurse, my mother was given lorazepam, which he told me was for her stomach pain and nausea. He actually put this in air quotes with his fingers. In case you're not familiar with it, lorazepam is a benzo that's also used as an antipsychotic, anti-anxiety sedative, along with gastro symptoms. Apparently the medicine that my mum was talking about was some kind of holistic herbal thing. The cherry on top is that the nurse is Chinese and loves Le Chow, and now I've got a new work friend. I thanked them for all their help and they indicated that she was ready to be discharged. My dad was not inclined to wake her up, but I explained that there were other people waiting that needed to be seen, and that they couldn't be seen if there were no open beds. I then asked the doctor if she could write my mum a script for lorazepam, which she agreed to, which did seem to placate my dad. I wheeled my mum out to the car. She was high as hell and going on about how she couldn't believe that I'd poisoned her, and that if I wasn't her daughter, I'd be going to prison. Wow. I just apologized. I didn't offer any excuses. When I got them to their hotel and my mum was waiting on the couch in the lobby while my dad grabbed her bags from the car, I told my dad it was probably better if they just went home. I'm not gonna lie, I got a little emotional. He agreed. So yeah, based on the lab work and the way the ED staff were acting, I'm convinced that my mum was faking for sympathy and attention. Oh god. Not that it matters because my dad will always support her no matter what. I'm never having them over again. That was unbelievable. And yeah, faking it for sympathy and attention. That's so terrible. Oh, I can't believe you poisoned me. If you weren't my daughter, you'd be going to prison. Oh my god, insufferable. I'm so sorry that you had to deal with all of this, OP. The top comment says, it's really tough to live with a center stage mother and a complicit father. At least they're a plane right away. I'm so glad that this time you told your dad to his face that he should leave. That took guts. And OP said, honestly, I've always done this to myself multiple times. Every time I see my mum, I hope that things will be better, and every time I get my heart broken. I haven't seen them for years now, and once again, I kinda naively got my hopes up after I caved. When she's not around, I enjoy hanging out with my dad, and that's what makes this so hard to commit to. The comment below that says, it's called toxic hope, and it's hella hard to let go of it. Yeah, that's so sad. Like, there were so many red flags from your mum in the first story, and yeah, to pretty much have all of that confirmed in the update, yeah, that's so bad and so toxic. Yeah, like this comment says, it's wild AF that your mum is still whining that you poisoned her when she's the one who ate something that, number one, wasn't for her, number two, she didn't know what the was in it, and number three, didn't even know what it was. To be honest, I had to look up what Le Chow was, and how the hell do you mistake that for chicken? Does your dad know about the test results? And OP said he was there while we were talking about it. Honestly, I don't think he cares. He does whatever he needs to support my mum. However, she says that she needs support. Yeah, this comment, at this point, don't give your parents any more chances to make your life worse. Yeah, definitely, OP. Your mum sounds insufferable, and your dad's not really helping matters either. The next one says, am I the gay hoe for asking somebody to stop coming to my house when nobody's home? Okay, before we even start, start. No! My wife gave a friend a key to our house as a backup in case we lost our keys or got locked out somehow. Well, there's your problem. Oh my god. I'm sorry, I know we only just started, but come on. I've come home a couple of times and I found the friend at my house. The friend was not invited and did not tell anybody that she'd be there. The first time she dropped off some baked goods for my wife who's pregnant. My wife has developed a sweet tooth, so I did appreciate the gift, but I thought it was weird that the friend didn't ask to stop by. Last week I came home early from work and the friend was at my house eating leftovers from a dinner that my wife and I had. No! Please tell me this one's rage bait. I asked the friend why she was at my house and she said that she just swung by and found the food in the fridge. Yeah, well, that's where the food is. It doesn't mean you can eat it. This made me uncomfortable. I told the friend to not come to our house anymore without letting us know beforehand. The friend was insulted by this request. Oh my god, who cares? If they think that's unreasonable, they've lost their mind. And mutual friends have told me that I'm being unreasonable. No, this one has to be rage bait. I just don't like coming home to my house and finding people there that I didn't invite. So am I the a-hole? Oh my god, of course you're not the a-hole. I don't even know what to say. Who the hell is saying that that's unreasonable and rude? What, you think it's okay that the friend comes over when you're not there, lets themselves into your house without asking, and eats your food without asking? Who is saying that it's unreasonable to say that that's not okay? What do you mean? Put your foot down yesterday, OP. Get some boundaries in place. I can't believe what we just read. Oh no, that's unreasonable and rude. You should let people come over to your house and let themselves in and eat your food. Of course you shouldn't. The top comment says she was insulted that you didn't want uninvited people at your home, popping up randomly like a burglar and eating your food on top of that. Your mutual friends say that you're the rude one? Laughing my ass off. Your mutual friends are morons. Yeah, 100%. And your place is probably being used as a bang shack getaway while you're at work. Yeah, why did your wife give them the key? The second top comment says definitely not the a-hole. Re-key your locks. If she was only given the key for emergencies, then she shouldn't be using it at all. Eating the leftovers was wrong too. Yeah, of course it was. Oh yeah, it was an emergency. I was hungry. The comment below that says, what the f***? Who are these mutual friends that think it's perfectly okay for somebody to come around unannounced and uninvited to eat your food while you're gone? That's total BS. Of course, you're not the a-hole at all. But these friends of yours need to go ahead and start the regional a-hole club in your area because they are huge, raging a-holes. And so is the friend with the key. And your wife needs to get that key returned. If it were me, I'd be changing the locks. Yeah, I don't feel like I've read a post so ridiculous in a long time. Of course, that's not okay. OP left a comment that said, instead of trying to get the key back, I'm gonna have my locks re-keyed. This was my wife's idea. Right, so your wife is definitely on your side. That's good. For a second there, I thought it was gonna be one of those posts where OP's wife is against them as well, and also doesn't see an issue in it, but that's awesome to see that you're on the same page. And of course you're not the a-hole, OP. The next one says, am I the a-hole for making my property inaccessible and cutting off a hiking trail? I live in a city with an amazing river view trail system. I'm lucky enough to have purchased a home a couple of decades ago that overlooks the river. 2 years ago, the bank below my property gave way and part of the trail became too dangerous for people to traverse. The city put up a barrier and there is a detour into my neighborhood and then back down into the valley, maybe a quarter mile down the way. However, my backyard can also be used to continue your walk. I got so many people walking through that I got concerned about a liability. Also, they were littering on my property. I fenced off my yard and now if you want to walk the trail, you have to take the detour. A few of my neighbors have talked to me about it and one in particular thinks that it's an a-hole move to keep people from enjoying the trail. I've also been yelled at in my own backyard by people who used to cut through and the city has come to check my property lines, but I did everything right. I don't think I'm the a-hole, but a few people have called me exactly that. Am I the a-hole? Oh no, I don't think so, OP. Yeah, like this comment says, okay, so your title is misleading. You didn't cut off anything. The trail got changed because of damage. That's got nothing to do with you. So you're not the a-hole for fencing in your property. They can still hike the trail fine. Yeah, and the comment below that too, not the a-hole. Frankly, the litter and the liability are good reasons not to keep it happening. There's a detour and people can go around. Yeah, for sure, you're not an a-hole, OP. Okay, that was such a fun episode. I hope you guys had a good time today. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you subscribe if you want to. And before you go, I've got a cute, wholesome meme to show you. My husband and I always try to find the one tree that we think nobody's gonna take home. This year, our 14-foot tree has a 12-inch gap at the top, complete with a mini lumberjack mouse. How cute is that? I love that so much. So they get trees that other people probably wouldn't get, and they turn it into a super cute situation. That's so beautiful. And a beautiful place to to end today's episode. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you had a wonderful time today. If you did, make sure you let me know down below in the comment section. And the comment of the day today goes to Spider Gamer. Day 111 of telling the Vincey fam god-awful jokes I heard on the internet. How does a penguin build its house? He glues the ice blocks together. Oh, that's so good. Like, it is kind of a god-awful joke, but also not at all at the same time. I feel like that's pretty funny, and thank you for commenting that, and thank you for the support, everybody. I'll see you in the next terrifying episode. Make sure you look after yourself, and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every single day. Bye!